how many times have you had a beaver tail?
I say 50, but I'll put that in.
50? Wow! Oh my God.
Let me put that in half. I'll say 25 because every time I get one, it's somebody saying, "Hey, let me get a piece." yeah. I'll say 25.
Welcome to Locked In, a Redblacks podcast. I'm Brent Wallace, joined as always by Brad Sinopley. And this week, Avery Williams is our guest, the minister on defense, the leader of that defense. Mr. Williams, welcome to the show. I want to know, first of all, what it's like to be a leader when things are tough. How do you keep everybody on the same page?
Just giving them a goal and telling them just to follow the process. We had a process set from the beginning of training camp, and it hasn't been working so far. But honestly, when things aren't working, you go back into your toolbox. You try to see what we're not following with that process. Say it's we want to win a turnover battle, we want to win a penalty battle, and then we look at our games and we see that we're not winning a turnover battle, or we're having too many penalties. Then that's something that we got to fix, and that's another goal that gives us access to another goal that we can fix.
Okay, so your personality, from what I know, is fairly low key. Do you get bent out of shape in the locker room, or is this the Avery Williams we see in the locker room?
This is off the field, Avery, man. The locker room, Avery, you wouldn't even recognize that guy. It's just like on the field, Avery. You don't recognize him. I run into people on the street all the time, and they'll see my face, and I'm like, "Excuse me, are you Avery Williams?" I'm like, "Yeah, you the linebacker for the Redblacks?" I'm like, "Yeah." And they'll say, "I thought you were 6'2". I'm like, "Thank you, I appreciate it."
Not what you want to hear.
At all, man. But I haven't had to deal with that my whole life. But it's pretty funny, man. You always got to be that kind of, you got to have that Hawk mentality. It's the Hawk versus Bruce Banner. You know, you'll never know those guys are the same dude.
So it's an interesting question for me because offensively, defensively, very different how you flip the switch to go from how you are now, leading up to a game, and then all of a sudden you cross the white line and things are different.
Yeah.
Right? And I don't think some people understand how you are able to flip that switch, but on the defensive side, it's different for you because you have to be the aggressor, whereas I'm running away from you, you're coming after me. So how do you flip that switch, and then especially after games too, like that's the interesting part I always find. How do you come out of it and then reset to go back into it?
I owe that to my mom and my dad. They always told me that it's like when you're on a football field, you can really do whatever you want. There's no laws, there's no rules, there's no regulations. So when you want to become that guy, everything that you got going on in your personal life, everything that you got going on in the real world, it doesn't exist when you cross that line. And that's the big reason I love football, because when you cross that line, nothing else matters but the game, your brothers, and then the goal that you got in front of you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. See?
It's interesting, like, when you leave the building, are you completely calm? Like it's been obviously it's a challenging year, no question. So are you able to park it, or does it eat at you?
It depends on what time of day it is. and
so you don't like
that's
afternoon?
a good way to look at it.
Yeah, so afternoon games, man, it's hard to sleep. I really want to yell at people, but I usually stay up as long as I can until the film is released. And then after the film is released, it usually calms me down. Because it's never as bad as it seems, and it's never as good as it seems. There's always that middle area that you catch yourself in. Because think about it, ask Brad or ask anybody who has played. After games, if you lose, you're like, dang, man, I could have did this play better. I could have did this play better. I missed this tackle. How did I miss this tackle? So as soon as that film drops, it's like money in your bank account. Because now you're like, all right, now I can critique myself. Now I can see what I did wrong. And then you'll see a play, you're like, man, dang, I couldn't make that tackle. This dude had my arm. But in your mind, the whole time, you're just thinking about it. So night games are terrible. And then the games you lose are terrible because you're always thinking about it. You can't sleep. It eats at you. And especially if you're a competitor, like a lot of the guys on our team, it just bothers you.
Yeah, that's something I think, especially for fans, that when it's a tough season, they have to understand that the will to win that guys have is always there.
Yeah.
You're giving your best every time you're out there, but when it doesn't go your way, like you said, you're up after games, and I experienced the same thing.
Yeah.
I couldn't go to sleep until I watched the film.
Yeah.
But that's also part of you as you become a leader and you grow into that. Do you pass that on to other guys? And because I think when you're young, you're scared of film, right? When you know you screwed up or you're fearful of whether you win or lose, there's plays on film that you're going to go into the next day, and you're going to be in the spotlight and you're going to be pointed out that you didn't do this right. And then I feel like there's a switch when you kind of hit this kind of after so many years where you become mature that you kind of attack it and you embrace it.
Yeah.
You want to meet it head on before you go in there, so you already know what you did wrong and understand it. But I think that's something that, like, do you talk to young guys about that, like, as part of their process, or?
Yeah, always. So think about it. My rookie year, having guys like you, Greg.
We don't keep pumping his tires.
Hey, he's not pumping me. No, he's not pumping.
Having all these goats on my team, man, it was Trevor and all of y'all guys. It was easy. Like the spotlight wasn't on me at all, in no way. Like even if I had a 10 tackle game and a sack, people are talking about Willie P. You understand? So I honestly, my rookie year, I don't think I watched as much film as I did in college.
Right.
And then as I started to notice, like I was missing easy plays in 18. I'm like, all right, listen, 19, I'm going to watch film and I'm going to get better. And I had the year I had in 19 until I got hurt. But I always tell guys, I'm like, listen, you might think you're doing good even when we win. It's always something you can fix. It's always something you can get better at. Because think about it. We go through a win. You don't watch film because you think you had a great game because we got the W. But now we lose, but you made the same mistake that you made when we won.
Yep.
That's on you. That's not on anybody else. So you gotta fix things. Even when things are doing good, still critique yourself. When things are going bad, critique yourself because the same thing can be going on.
Yeah, I like that when things are going well to critique yourself.
Yeah.
Because I always thought when you do something well, the team is going to go back and see what you did well.
Yeah.
Right. So say you're disguising a blitz or the way you drop, and then now I try to think about what they're thinking about to come back and think about the next move in terms of, like, you know, I would see DBs, okay, I beat them this way. So next time I'm going to anticipate maybe they see me to do that and they're going to adjust like this. And then I have to adjust like this the next time.
Yeah.
Right? It's almost like a third level of thinking sometimes. I think that's kind of where, when you start to love that aspect of the game, that's where film can kind of become addicting, I find.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool, man. One of my heroes is Ed Reed, and he was playing against Peyton Manning one week, and Peyton knew that if Reed went to the corner, he'd have the middle post open, right?
Yeah.
So Reed baited him. He went to the corner first, and he didn't even look to the post. Reed just turned around, did a speed turn, and ran to the post and put his eyes up like this and caught the ball and caught a pick. And then Peyton got to the sideline, and then this is why I love the game too. He just started smiling. He said he knew when I knew he going to that corner, the post was going to be open, so he just ran to the post. Like when I say this man didn't even look, he just speed turned, boom. Didn't look at the receiver, didn't look at the quarterback. The speed turn room knew what it was going to be, because it's like you. He saw that. Well, he saw himself on film going to this corner, and now the post's going to be open. So he knew that Peyton would see him going to this corner, and now the post's going to be open. So now he said, all right, I'm just going to go off of film. Peyton gonna think the post open, catch a pick, I'm out. That's the beautiful part about filming, man, and that's great you got that going on, dude.
Yeah, it's interesting because it's that part of the game that I think a lot of fans don't really see.
Yeah, they would never.
and even just the mind games back and forth. Like I was never a vocal guy on the field.
Yeah.
Not that we know, because we didn't go against each other.
Yeah.
But I always the only thing I would talk about was strategy of little things that DBs are doing. You know, you kind of, like, you're feeding them a little something to try and bait them through verbal, like, oh, I saw you doing this, you know, watch out for this next time. But really, it's a mind game the whole time.
Yeah.
It's not just physical and aggression, which is a big part, but it's that other aspect that a lot of people don't see.
And I wish they knew that, because I remember you asking me your questions. You're like, all right, just give me a little something.
Right.
I can't.
It's so hard.
Because you got to think about it, man. We're going off of everything. We're like the FBI. When we're interrogating somebody, we go off of little body ticks. So say an offensive lineman, he does a little shimmy before every pass play. We saw that on film. Now, hey, it's pass. Say the running back, every time it's a pass, he comes up to the line to get the protection. But when it's a run, he's just stagnant. He's right there like this. Or he's looking, all right, we're going to cut back. We're going to cut back. We're looking at everything, man. So if I give you a little, that's a lot for the other team.
So I'm going to set this up, because the other day it's going into the Toronto game, and I had to ask Avery some pregame questions, and I was like, hey, can you give me just like, what's the game plan to shut down McLeod Bethel Thompson? And you're like, I can't tell you that. Now, most guys would just go, well, we're just going to pressure the quarterback, or we're just going to make sure we keep their receivers in front of us, or whatever, something generic. No chance would Avery Williams entertain me in the 4 times I tried to ask this question, and it made me laugh, but I get it.
We use, like when I say we literally use every little thing from the guy's top of his head to the bottom of his feet, we're going to use it.
Yeah.
And it's usually right, man. It's a lot of guys in this league. Everybody has a tell. It's like poker. Everybody has a tell, even if you don't think you do. And another team won't tell you your tell until they don't have to play you anymore. Like, hey, bro, you got to stop doing this. You know you're giving up your pass and your run. It's wild.
That's one of the hardest things, I think, because football is, you're such a creature of habit. We do the same things every single day in the same fashion, same manner, because that's the way we have to operate. We only play once a week, right?
Yeah.
And you practice so much, but then that's your tell, is your routine, right? But your routine is what sometimes makes you who you are and produces you.
It's so wild, man.
But it's so wild to pull back and see your own routine and have to, be thoughtful of trying to not show it. That's
like
the hardest part.
Like, who is it? His name's Kenny Lawler.
Yeah.
89 for. He fixes his gloves every time.
Right, that's a big tell.
Like, dude, we know it's a pass. You just fix your gloves.
That's a big tell.
Okay, is there one? I'm probably not going to get an answer to this. Is there one player that you find the most challenging, or that you enjoy the most to go up against?
That I love going against, it's between James Wilder and then Steinbeck. William Steinbeck, man. I like big backs, and I'm a small dude, so I don't have to bend for them, But when we go and we hit, man, we collide in that hole, it's a different feeling. It reminds me why I love football, and it's really, really competitive because both of them are good backs. They run downfield hard. Both of them have easy tells too, so that's why I like going against them too.
Who's hit you the hardest?
Nobody really.
See, that should be the other way around.
Yeah,
Who have you hit the hardest?
I'm getting that after.
But that's a good question.
As a running back, some
course.
guys are just built like small
Nah,
houses.
I'm a linebacker. I don't really.
No one's caught you?
Not yet. I hope that never happens.
Don't look for me if that happens. I'll be like, no.
Yeah.
So, okay, then who have you hit the hardest?
I have no idea. Honestly, I don't know how hard I hit people. I can't even tell you, man. I just go out there and play as hard as I can. Man, that's a good question. You got to ask somebody else. You got to ask, has Avery Williams hit you hard?
I would love to.
That's as true a linebacker response, I think, as I could have thought about. Not thinking about the pain and how hard you hit. Just doing your job, play after play.
I'm telling you, you're so numb. Like when you're on a football field, you're numb to everything. But then when you watch football, like I got a little league team I mentor, and I was watching them playing. Every time they hit each other, I was like, ooh. Like it's crazy, man. But when we got Darvin Adams, the first week I met him, he's like, bro, when I was in Winnipeg, you got me one time, bro. You hit me across that middle. I swear to God, I ain't want to come across the middle no more. And I was like, bro, I don't even remember that.
That's cool.
Yeah, man.
I always bring it up to people that don't understand the adrenaline and what it can do for you. So on a football field, right now, if I said, let's go outside, run as fast as you can for about 20 yards, and just jump and dive on the field, and just do it, you would say there's no way I'm doing that. I wouldn't do it. Then you get into a game, and you're doing that every play almost on top of the contact. And it's just interesting to, how that happens in a football game. And then I started thinking about, especially on defense, how do you deal with injuries, the pain, the stuff you have to play through? We go through the same thing, but I think it's different on offense because, again, you have to always be an aggressor. I think on offense, we can kind of, we can sliver away from hits, we can kind of avoid stuff, but you can't do that on defense.
Honestly, man, when you see the guys out there, and it's like it's a pride thing. So say we all get into this big pile, and for some reason I got hurt at the bottom of the pile. If I see my teammates get up and they're in the same position as me, I'm not going to sit on the ground because I'm a competitor, man. I'm going to get my tail up and go to the next play. All of us look the same. When we come off the field, somebody's bleeding, somebody has a fat knot on their arm, somebody has blood coming out of their mouth, busted nose. We all look the same, so we're going to ride it out to the end. And then when I say you don't feel it and it's so weird, You don't feel it until after the game. You know that shower you take after the game.
Oh,
you're
yeah.
like,
It's either a good one or a bad one, regardless of the turf burns you have. Yeah.
Yeah, it feel like acids on your skin.
Yeah.
But it's crazy, man, because in the game, your adrenaline's going so fast, you're not even worried about anything else but what's in front of you, man. You worry, like with me, I got to set up the defensive line every play. I got to make sure everybody on the field gets the call. That's the only thing I'm focused on. So my body is really the last thing on my mind.
Who's the biggest influence on your football career?
I say it's between my mom and my dad. Yeah, my whole life, my mom and my dad always made time for us. I have it's 6 of us. I got four older sisters and then 1 older brother. And my dad literally would go to work at 6 a.m., leave work at 5 p.m., and then come, like, pick us up from school, take us to football practice at 6 p.m., and then we'll be at football practice from 6 to 9, and we'll keep up with that routine until wrestling season came. Then when wrestling season came, he did the same thing. And, like, he went to every game, every wrestling tournament, every match, every baseball game, and he always did that. And I saw his grind. So when I got my scholarships to high school, I got my scholarship to college, they would keep us we would be up from 5 a.m., then practice would be up at 12, then we'd have school from 1 to 8, and then we'd have meetings from 8:30 to 10 o'clock at night. And when we did that, I was like, man, this is nothing. And they was like, is that hard? I'm like, no, I saw my dad do that all the time. When I say that had a big impact on the way I carry myself, why I'm so like low key, why I only care about the details and getting the goal done, that's all my mom and my dad.
So when you're in the car on the drive home, what was the conversation like? Did he talk about the game, or did he just run it out? Oh.
All right, as a kid, my dad, when he's talking about a game, he never really focused on me. He always focused on what the other team did, and he'll say, listen, these guys did this like this. How do you think you can beat that next time? Like before we even used to watch our film, because my dad used to record our games. Before we used to watch our film and do whatever, he'll say, all right, such and such had this route concept on you. Say he ran they ran a post, and then somebody went to the flat. He's like, all right, now you playing corner. How can you play that better? And I'll say, I got my back to the end zone. I need to have my back to the sideline so I can play them 70-30. Like, me and my dad had those conversations, and it made me better as a player, man. Like, especially when you speak like that as a kid, by the time you become a pro, everything is simple to you.
So, and I don't know what you're like, but for me, so I'm going through it now. My kid's 15, and we have that time in the car after or before. This is the best bonding time there is. And so, is it the same for you? Just those car rides, being able to chat about all that stuff?
Always, man. And my dad used to have this big red truck, and after the games, if we won, he'll let us sit in the back of the truck. Because, you know, my dad's the coach, so he's taking kids home. Yeah, he's taking everybody home. You know, make sure everybody gets something to eat. And it was pretty fun on the back of that truck, man. And then, like, the nights before, everybody would stay the night over my house. So they think they're coming over there to play, have fun the night before the game. But my dad really has them there to go over plays. So we having a walkthrough in my basement before the game. So it was
By the end of the year, one kid staying over.
Yep.
Yeah.
You said you had 4 sisters. So did that impact your dating life when you were younger?
No, but when I got older, I didn't get. Listen,
What a question.
Me and my brother was so busy. We didn't have time for girls. We didn't have time for parties. I don't think I really went out like that, man. Because I'm telling you, we would literally every day we'd either be in band practice or we would be at a sporting event or something like that. So we did a lot, man. We didn't really have time for that. But as I got older, it was terrible. Girls do not like girls taking their little brother.
No, very protective. That's why I was curious. So you said, did you play in the band?
I was going to say,
did you play?
band, don't let that go.
Hey,
Yeah.
I played in the band too.
Did you really?
I played in the marching band when I was in cadets.
Yeah, I was in a concert band. I played clarinet, saxophone, and I taught myself the piano in college.
Do you still play?
Yeah, man.
Are you like Kenny G?
A little bit, yeah. He plays sax a little. I play alto sax, but it's a little bit. It's not as smooth as Kenny G. You know, when he holds a note, he doesn't have to breathe. Yeah.
I can play the snare drum, so I'll come over and we'll do a
Let's
song
have a
together.
jam session, man.
Yeah.
I'm with it. Yeah.
You can play the triangle, Brad.
Yeah, no, that's good. I'm, whatever you need me.
So I have a mentee, and I said this at the gala the other day. I taught her the Rubik's Cube already, and I felt like I didn't have anything else to teach her. And she said she wanted to learn how to play the piano, so I was like, all right, we got something new to do.
So, okay, well, you know what? I'll get to that right now, and that is the Redblacks Mentor Program through the OSEG Foundation. We have a gala the other night for the OSEG Foundation. You got up and spoke because the mentees came up. Phenomenal speech. It was the best part of the night for me. Can you talk about what that program is like and what it's done for you? And because you can see the impact it has on those people and those kids.
Yeah, it's amazing, man. Think about it. It's not just kids from impoverished neighborhoods. It's kids from other countries, and that's the crazy part. They come over here not knowing this country's culture, not knowing how to move in society over here. So you have a guy like me from America who's in that same boat. I come to Canada. I don't really know how to move, but I've spent 5 years of my life here. Now I can try to give the knowledge that I've built and the knowledge that I've obtained living here, try to get up to somebody else so they can be successful. And it's pretty cool. And there's multiple guys that do it, like Sherrod Baltimore. This guy, he's been impacting this community for a long time. And he really got me into that mentorship program, and it's just been cool.
Tell me the Rubik's Cube story.
Ah, man, it was wild. Yeah, so during the pandemic, I was just trying stuff, man. I was bored. So I taught myself the Rubik's Cube, Pyramix, which is another Rubik's Cube, but it's a triangle, and then a 4x4 cube. And then I taught myself how to play golf, and then a few magic tricks. I was bored, man. Yeah. So I got my time down to 1 minute and 58 seconds. So I come in first time meeting Amira, which is my mentee, and I'm like, all right, bet this is going to take her the whole year to learn how to do this. So I do it for her, and then I give it to her and I explain it how to do it, all the different moves, because there's a lot of different algorithms when it comes to moves. And she's like, all right, I'll take it home. I say, all right, that's cool. So coming to my next visit, I take her to a museum, and then we talk afterwards. And she's like really like jittery. I'm like, all right, what's going on? She's like, I brought the cube back. I was like, all right. She's like, mix it up. I was like, all right, huh? She does it in 1 minute and 23 seconds. I was like, all right. You know me, I'm a competitor. I want to say congratulations, but I really want to take it and throw it against the wall.
That's cool.
Yeah, I was mad, man. Yeah. But then she was like, yeah, I want to learn the piano. I was like, all right, you're not going to take everything I do. Yeah.
But it is so what's it mean for you? What do you get out of that?
Man, honestly, my mom always taught me if you gave, you will receive. You really receive, man. Especially like playing a professional sport, you're usually around a lot of people who always want to take from you. You know, and it's wild. They usually try to take the love you have for the game, the love you have for others, the trust that you have in others. People just want to take. But when you can give, and then you give to somebody like that who truly benefits from it, it's a different feeling that I really can't explain.
Very good, and it's from an outside point of view, a fantastic thing you do. Like, people don't understand how important it is to mentor people, and I think for you to take your time, and for all the guys who've done it, a fantastic job. So hats off to you. Speaking of outside influences, social media. Do you have any?
No, I don't like social media. Yeah, it's not my.
Is it tough not to be on it?
No, not at all. All my friends are on my phone, or I don't.
Do they send you what you need to know? Like, do you?
Yeah, man. I feel. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I feel out of place. Because when a celebrity dies and then you find out like 3 months later, it's weird.
3 months? It's a long time for the news to travel.
Yeah, I swear, man. It's so weird. Or like, say, honest, I'm out of touch with the world. I'm not gonna lie, but I really love it too. Because then, like when I speak to people, they really want to know like what's going on with me. It's not like, oh, I already saw what you did yesterday. It's boring. They really want to talk now, so and it's pretty cool, man.
All right, just to let you know, Brad retired. If you
I did? Yeah.
Oh, man.
So, but you played 1 year, 2 years together?
2 years.
2 years together.
18, 19.
Yeah.
Do you have any, like, I'm always trying to find some stories about Brad. Do you got
No,
any?
there's none out there.
The bathroom story or no?
No, he knows that one, but no, actually, you don't know that one, do you?
No, so you already brought it. We have to tell the story now.
No, we don't. Not if you don't want to.
No, I don't care. I don't care. You want me to tell it? Why don't you tell it?
You tell it, man.
Yeah, so I'll retell it for you. So we were at home here, obviously, and during the day of meetings. You know, there's special teams meetings before offense, defense. So I wasn't in the special teams meeting, so I was had to take a quick bathroom break. So obviously I was downstairs going to the bathroom on the west side of the stadium. And anyways, you know, all of a sudden I heard this noise as I'm sitting there. And I was like, I looked around. It was like a movie. Like, it was eerie, but I'm like, haven't heard it before, but I feel like I had.
Like pipe shaking?
Like a pipe shaking. Like I heard it from like deep and far away. And I'm like, that's really weird, you know? And I think nothing of it. And about 10 seconds later, I hear this kind of kaboom. And then I was like, that's kind of weird. I felt a little bit of a rattle, you know? So I kind of stood up in a panic mode, and then, like you wouldn't believe, I swear to God, it was like a movie. And it just came shooting out. And there was video of it.
Dude, it was so bad. Listen.
There's video of me not in the bathroom, not in the bathroom, let understand that. But there's video of me leaving down the hallway, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I panicked because there's stuff all over me, and I didn't know what to do. So you just see the video of me walking down the hallway, you know, just discombobulated
They showed it in the meeting
with
the next
shit
day.
everywhere, obviously, right? So they showed it in the meeting, which was the biggest thing. You know, I was like, okay, cool. It's just going to be between me and the equipment guys and whoever's in the locker room that saw me walk in. You know, I had to put all my stuff in a garbage bag. I had to threw it all out. I was in my practice gear. Had to get a new jersey.
It was wild.
It was crazy. Anyways, so now that everyone knows that, that's
I hadn't heard that one.
That was a good story, man.
that was a good one. I'm glad you didn't forget it. Thanks.
My bad.
Your first
I tried.
year in the CFL, you come up, you're used to playing college and the NFL size, and you'd gone to the Houston Texans, if I'm not mistaken. How big an adjustment was the CFL Field Rules, all that stuff?
First of all, I'm gonna start off with the rules. You can't touch a receiver down the field was the biggest shell shocker ever. Like guys like this guy, you need to put hands on him because he's so talented. Like you gotta.
Oh, thank you. I was gonna say
you gotta put your hands on him. If you don't, he's gonna beat you 9 times out of 10. And then when it comes to the field, so Kyrie Herbert, my rookie year, he's like, listen, man, you're gonna have to start running. I'm like, what you talking about? He said, you gotta get in shape. I was like, all right. He said, listen, sideline to sideline is not like how it is down there. You can't take 2 steps and be to the hash. He said, man, you're gonna have to really get on your horse. So I'm like, all right. I'm listening to him. I was like, all right, I'm gonna be his backup for a year, and then I'm gonna do it next year. This guy gets kicked out of the game. I think he speared somebody, so he got kicked out of I think he got kicked off or suspended for like 3 or 4 weeks or something like that. So now I'm starting as a rookie, and I'm like, oh, man. My first game is against Montreal at their place, and they run a stretch play. And I really had to get on my horse, and I'm like, dang, man, I should have took his advice. But then the next game come, and the whole week in practice, I'm running, and I adjusted well to it, man. But that when I say that field is a difference, and people don't understand that until you come up here. A lot of guys come up here, oh, I'm going to kill the CFL, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But then when they get on that field and they see how far it is, especially when you're playing linebacker, moving sideline to sideline, or you're at DB and a receiver motions before the play even starts, and you got multiple people that can motion before the play even starts, it's wild, man. As a young linebacker, the advice I give you is don't let your eyes be too greedy. You can't take the cheese on everything because it's going to be multiple motions. Everything's going to catch your eye. It's a lot of stuff you got to adjust to here.
This is maybe a touchy one. Is the game more fun to play because A, it's 2 downs, so you've got to. It's always big plays for the most part. Like, is it? It's more wide open. So is it more fun to play? Maybe not for a defensive guy.
Yeah,
We
honestly,
should ask Brad.
I would say probably for them. For us, it's like we got to walk on our toes, especially now, man. They made even more rules for us. Like even when we tackle the quarterback, we can't land on them or we can't take them to the ground forcefully. It's so weird up here. And then they brought the hashes in to try to be like the NFL, but they don't understand when you bring the hashes in up here, that makes the field even bigger, and it's crazy. Yeah.
So when they told you that they gave out a single point, what was your reaction?
What do you mean?
The Rouge.
Oh, yeah. I'm not gonna lie, so Coach Campbell did a good job, Coach Rick Campbell, when we first got here, during training camp, I think like every other day, he would like go over the rules with us, and it was stuff you couldn't believe, especially like it's the biggest one. Here it goes. When they punted the ball and then the other team punted it back and then they punted it again. Yeah. So my first time seeing that, I was like, man, this is some bull crap. What's going on? And then the team scored and they won, and I was like, man, I don't know about this. But then I watched that game, like I watched the live footage of that game, and I was just like, man, that shit was exciting as hell. Because you really don't understand it until you out there or like you see it live. It's crazy, man. Yeah.
Because
the kick out is a big one. Whenever they show that one, I think it's a Toronto game, right? They show that one.
Because I was like, what's going on?
Yeah, if you're new to the CFL and that's the first, if that was the first game you watched and you see that, it must be wild.
You'd be like, what the
what's going on?
For sure. But the CFL does, like, lots of people watch in the U.S. It's become a huge thing to watch. And part of it is the game's never over. And I don't know what it's like on the field, but I do know it can be 3 minutes or 2 minutes to go, and the game, you could score 85 points, it feels like. It just seems it's more exciting that way. Like, if you're a fan, you don't know what's going to happen until the final buzzer goes.
I love it, man. Especially, like, think about it. Even when our clock hits 0, you got another play.
That's right.
Like, and people don't understand that, man. Yeah, like, you see people, like, walking out of the stadium, and it's three points. It's a 3-point difference. Like, that's crazy. Stay here. I'm trying to tell you, it's something different going to happen.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to come to as we'd like to do in each and every show, and that is Cream of the Crop, brought to you by Vodka, and that is maybe your favorite play. And I don't know, this is one I'm going to think of. It's you've had one touchdown in your career against Winnipeg. Is that the play, or is there another one?
It's another one. It's more recent. That play was fun, though. But the most recent play that I can think about is my pick this year against Edmonton. It was pretty funny, though, because when I caught it, all I could hear is Pat Levels yelling at me. He's like, hey, Avery, pitch it back, pitch it back, pitch it back. And I kept saying, no. So I was like, all right. And I see all these people coming to me. I was like, all right, I'm going to pitch it back. But I didn't see it was a 300 and some pound, 6-something offensive lineman right in front of me, and I didn't see him. So when I pitched it back, my ribs were exposed, and this dude just drilled me. And I'm on the ground, and he runs, and everybody's yelling, screaming, and then he gets the yards that he gets. But then I just like, I couldn't breathe. He took all the wind out of me, right? And the dude gets up, and he's mad at me. He's like, dang, man, I thought you had the ball. I thought I had a tackle. And then I tried to get up. I said, you got me. And then I had to sit down. You know about these hits. I tried to get up. I had to sit back down. Everybody came over to me. They was like, bro, that was a nice play. It looked really good on film. And I was like, my ribs don't look good on film.
I think we got the answer to my earlier question of who hit you the hardest.
Oh, yeah,
that's a good one. There you go.
Yeah.
Wow.
I had to think about it.
Talent
I forgot
right
about it. Yeah, that offensive lineman from Edmonton. And then you remember you said you had some footage on it, and I was like, oh.
Well, that's good. That's an offensive experience where'd that guy come from? And he just.
Dude, I did not see him. He drilled me. It was good.
Yeah.
All right, what's it like to score a touchdown?
Man, it's unreal. Honestly, especially my rookie year coming up here, I was really sad at first, like getting cut from the Texans, and then coming up here, I'm like, all right, I don't know how I'm gonna adjust. I was scared I was gonna get cut. I was scared I wasn't gonna get a chance. Because think about it, being a 5'9" middle linebacker, there's not too many chances for guys like me, you know? So I'm like, all right, bet. So this game I'm starting in, CT hits Nichols. I see that ball, man, and then when I got in that end zone, it was unreal. Honestly, I didn't even know I did it until we came back home. You know, our flights home are the best. We came back home, and everybody's like, man, congratulations on that touchdown, congratulations on that touchdown. I'm like, dang, that's wild. And then you see your phone, and then you see social media, and you're like, dang, man, I really just scored a touchdown.
Yeah, like I think that's pretty cool. Did you keep the ball?
Yeah, I got a ball. Yeah.
Now, did you keep all the balls from, like, how many?
I was going to ask, is there still air in it? Because
Nah, I don't think so. It's in a glass case.
Okay. Yeah.
But now with me, when I like get a turnover or something, I throw it in the crowd. Yeah. I kept my first pick, first touchdown, first forced fumble, and then everything else I just give the fans.
Toss it back.
Don't you have to pay if you throw in the stands?
No, I don't think so.
You used
I hope not.
you
Don't say that on
used
camera.
to. Yeah, you used to. My when I first got in the league, it was $70 every time you threw a ball in the stands.
No, see with me, so when we were in Edmonton, it was two fans there. One of them was a Redblacks fan, one of them was an Edmonton fan, but they were married. So his wife was a Redblacks fan, so she kept calling our names the whole time. So when I got my pick, she's like, "Hey, Ray!" I was like, "Here you go," and then I signed it for her. He was pissed off.
He'll get over it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. How many game balls do you have? Or milestones?
I kept 4. I kept 5, sorry. So I kept a ball every year for 1,000-yard season, and then I kept the last ball from the 2018 for the receptions, the Canadian receptions.
Oh, yeah,
now all those balls I thought were going to be pristine. I kept them all the way. Well, with the son, now he's wants to play with them, and then the dog wants to get around. So now I'm like, whatever. My wife's the one that's got to be like, that's that ball, and I'm like, that's what they're there for, to play around with.
Yeah,
so
true.
It's more the memories than the physical.
Wow.
Yeah.
You don't care at all.
Well, it's just it is cool. It's fun to put them in a case, and I think for the future, it's always fun to look back.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's to me, I'm not huge on trophies and stuff. It's more of I have the memories, and that stuff never leaves you. But I don't know. To me, that's what they're there for.
Honestly, the memories are the most important thing.
Yeah.
And with us, I don't know. I know how you feel. It's all football players. You won't remember any of the games, but you'll remember the locker room.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
100%.
Same in any sport.
Yeah. You like when I hear that throughout any sport, man.
Yep.
No games, all locker room talk. We're gonna remember the rap battles we had, the ping pong tournaments we had.
So because nobody knows, like, you might know the score of the Grey Cup game, but outside of that, like, you don't probably remember very many scores of
I
football
don't even
games.
remember the score of the Grey Cup game, and that's a good
18.
point,
I don't-
right?
yeah,
Unless we
yeah.
talk about something specific, like player to player, that it happened in a game,
Yeah.
and usually that's something like you're talking about the interception, the pitch,
Yeah.
like that's a cool thing that you're talking about with teammates, right?
Yeah.
It's not so much the actual game, and that's one of the cool things that you take away from it, because
Yeah, man, it's beautiful.
at the end of the day, everyone wants to win,
Yeah.
everyone doesn't win.
Yeah.
It's not the only thing. It's everything else around it.
So let's go to the locker room. Give me the dirt. So who's good and who's not good at ping pong?
I'm in the middle. That's where I put myself at. I got a nice record
Competitive.
right now. I think I'm like 10-9.
That's good. Above 500.
Yeah, I'm good, man.
Yeah.
Who's great? Darvin Adams is great at ping pong. He's crushing everybody right now. And I gotta give a shout out to Praise, Lonzo, Arbuckle, because at Temple, one of our biggest things was we want to compete every day, every second of the day, and through one of those outlets was ping pong. So Praise recognized that. He's like, man, our guys are just coming in, they're doing filming, and they're leaving. They're not staying with each other, they're not bonding, they're not competing. And he was like, all right, bet I'm gonna buy a ping pong table. So him and Lonzo bought the first one, and then Arbuckle saw it, and he was like, hey, I'll buy another one. So he bought one for the offensive side, we had one for the defensive side. Now you see guys, from the moment we get out of practice, guys are in there. They probably in there right now, still competing against each other, and you want that.
Yeah.
Who's the biggest ping pong trash talker?
Pat Levels.
I can see that. He to me is probably the biggest trash talker, not just ping pong.
Yeah.
Yeah, between him and then Douglas Coleman, they talk a lot of trash,
interesting.
man. They talk a lot.
And who's at the bottom of the standings right now?
At ping, I'm not gonna say because they probably did.
Yeah, that's a.
They probably beat me.
No, that's.
They probably beat me.
Give them time
I
to
don't know.
improve. Don't
I'm
just throw
telling
them under
you,
the bus.
You can't give nobody that feel, because when you feel somebody up like that, like if I say that and then they see this, like, oh, you think I suck? They're gonna put that thing up halfway and they're gonna practice until they're better than me.
It's just a fact. It's just whoever's sitting at. It's just a fact. Is anybody winless?
I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Good answer.
I hope not.
Okay, are there still rap battles in the room?
Always. There's always going to be a rap battle every year, especially on White Boy Wednesdays. That's pretty fun.
I was just gonna
Those
say,
are
where
good
does
days.
Antoine Pruneau rank?
Those
in
are good
this?
days.
Yeah.
Well, that's a different day. See, because it's usually French Fridays too. That's a different day.
See, Pruneau, he tells the best joke. He got this joke about a potato, and if y'all have more here, you got to hear it. It's funny as hell.
Hey, can you tell us the joke?
I have no idea how to tell it. it's like one of those things like only he can do it.
Okay.
Because everything, it'll be corny if somebody else did it.
We'll get him on the show for
Yeah,
You got
that's all I wanted. Antoine, just tell me this.
one joke and he's out.
Yeah.
Who's your best friend in football?
Avery Ellis. Yeah, Avery Ellis is, me and him have been together since we were 17 years old. We were college roommates. We were blessed enough to play all 4 years at Temple together, and then we were even more blessed to play here together for 2 seasons. So, no, 3 seasons. Yeah, 3 seasons, yeah. Avery Ellis. He's just great guy, great. I can say we're the same age, but I can say great mentor. Because me coming into this brand new league, not knowing anything, coming into a new country, and just him showing me just how to be successful up here. I can really say Avery Ellis.
Okay.
What's the biggest thing going from university, college to being a professional that you've learned when you get to become a professional? You're 5 years now, right?
Time management is your responsibility now.
Yeah.
You know, because when you're at university, it's all right. They give you a set schedule, and then it's just they outline literally every second of your day. Even when
Now
you
let's highlight that our university experience is little different. A little different, yeah.
yeah, like when I say they really highlight it when you
Yeah.
eat, and like they say, all right, listen, you got 5 minutes to eat, so
Right.
grab a snack here, then you can eat here, eat here, eat here. And then if a guy needed to lose weight, they'll take his a snack privilege off his schedule.
Yeah, wow.
Like even something like it's minute like that, like it is a difference. So as an adult, as a pro, it's like, all right, we're not going to force you to do this. We're not going to force you to watch film.
Right.
We're not going to force all you guys to watch film. And especially as a leader, I got to tell my younger guys, I'm like, listen, we're going to watch film at 5 o'clock.
Yep.
Come on, man, 5 o'clock too late. I don't care. Get in here. We're watching film. But that's the biggest difference.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about your college experience, or?
That's messed up.
No, it was just a little bit different. That's all, you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say it was as I became a professional, there was a lot more structure, which was welcomed. But
Really?
we were
Where'd you go?
University of Ottawa.
Okay, I
But
got you.
we're a little different in Canada, right? Like we don't have the resources are different. We're you know, a lot of the stuff is
I got you.
kind of on our own a little bit.
Yeah. Who
But,
you got winning Saturday?
Well, as a fellow former GG,
Yeah.
I obviously have to side with the GGs, but I really do think the GGs this year are.
Okay.
Now, the one thing though, it is going to be a good game, regardless of how one team is. Usually, it's one of those series where both teams always show up. Crazy things always happen, as you know. Nate has been in the game, and we all know because he tells everyone he caught the big, you know.
That's his glory days.
But that's the cool thing about it is that the rivalry is so big. It's the biggest game they're going to play in terms of fans in front of everyone. So for whatever reason, that always brings out the best in both teams. So it's going to be a good game.
Quarterback, number 12.
Yeah.
I saw him
Ben
play
Miracle.
against another team.
Yeah.
He played here.
Yeah, he's
Not as
pretty
good
good.
as Brad. Did you know he was the Heck Creighton winner?
Yeah, I know.
Oh, did he tell? Does he walk?
I didn't tell him.
All I know is he was a quarterback turned receiver, and he did great at both positions. And that's a hard thing to do, man. People try to take away from that. They just, you know, they just speak it instead of really like feeling it. That's really hard to do, man. I commend you.
Yeah, well, thank you. But it's like anything. It's regardless of what I did, switching positions, everything has things have to line up for you. And this is the biggest thing I always told people. It's about opportunity. When everyone has an opportunity, right? And it's about seeing it, because you might not know that your opportunity was actually this team period in, you know, these couple days in training camp to show, and then you don't have that opportunity anymore. Right. So regardless of I switching positions, it's everyone has opportunities, and you have to be best prepared you can, so that when that comes, you don't know when it's going to come, you can take advantage, right? So, and you've seen so many guys, right, as you go through, that you know we're good enough to play, good enough to make it. For whatever reason, the opportunity just either they didn't take advantage or just didn't really come up for them, right? And that's just kind of the way it goes.
But a lot of people don't understand that. Like, honestly, I say everybody that's in this position that you were, and that I am right now, is luck, dude. Like, everybody's talented.
Luck and preparation. It's a bit of both, but you're right. Yeah.
Everybody, like when I say everybody's talented, like I'm not the most talented person in the world, you know what I'm saying? But guys literally like separate themselves through preparation, through was I ready that day? Like think about it. When Kyrie got hurt, they had I think 3 or 4 other Mike linebackers ready to go just in case I didn't pan out. So if I didn't do well in that game, I was gone. Like it's those small chances that you gotta. You know you got to be great at, but when you get your chance, man, when I say you got to take advantage of it, and there's no excuses because nobody cares. And no matter how long it takes, you can't give up because there's going to be some bad days, there's going to be some good days. Like what we going through right now, I was telling my guys, we going through a struggle right now, but it's not the end of the road. You got to keep pushing.
There's so many guys, and this is one thing I don't think fans understand. There's so many people that when someone got injured, someone else stepped in. and you never know that guy's name. That guy is out of there and gone because for whatever reason just didn't take advantage of the opportunity. But that's how many people come through, right?
Yeah,
like the turnover on rosters and that small window. I always think about return guys, where if it's the first punt or the first kickoff, and I've seen it a few times, either they fumbled or they dropped it, and they're gone.
Yeah.
They're really, really great players, good returners, but it just so happened that happened in that time. And I always look back for myself, my first game I played, I could have easily dropped a ball or just, and it just didn't turn out because it happened in that moment, and it's fascinating because in no other sport does it happen like it does in football.
It's crazy, man. Like, you literally, they'll be walking your replacement in.
Yep.
Like I'm telling you, they told me I was starting probably Monday. The next day, they had 2 other guys come in, and they just worked them out.
Right.
They worked these guys out. They came out the field. One went to the right, one went to the left. One got cut, one came in the locker room.
Yeah.
They gave this man a helmet. I played. After the next day we come in for a rundown, they cut this dude, get him up out of here, bring 2 more dudes in. I'm like, dude, what is going on? But I always tell kids, as a pro, you can't let stuff like that suck you out. You just got to keep going day after day. You can't say, oh, dang, man, they bring somebody in to replace me already? This is not college.
Yeah.
They're not going to bring a dude in every year. They're going to bring a dude in every day.
Yeah.
Somebody's getting replaced, man. And especially when things aren't going well, somebody's getting replaced. So you always got to have that strong mindset. You got to be strong mentally and physically to play this game.
Yeah, and that's interesting too because I think everyone deals with that when they see it for the first time differently.
Yeah.
And do you use part of that though as motivation, right? It's almost like a chip on your shoulder when you see how fast it can be replaced, how fast and how they always have to be prepared.
Yeah.
Because injuries is very real, right? Yeah. But how do you deal with that mentally? Like, how did you kind of get around that, or how did you use that to your advantage?
I always laughed about it, man. Yeah, especially because I was one of those guys. I was one of those guys that came in to replace
And that's
somebody.
the biggest thing. We're all that guy.
Yeah. So you're always going to be that. It's always next man up in this sport we play, dude. Like, literally, I came here 5 years ago, and it doesn't even feel like I came here 5 years ago, you know? And it's wild. I was that next man up. Now everybody's calling me an old man.
Yeah.
28.
Happens so quick, eh?
Yeah.
So do guys talk to the replacement? Like, do you talk to the guys that come in?
Yeah, I say hi. Yeah,
okay.
It's not like I hate that guy, he's coming to replace me. No, this is a job, man. And this, I always tell people this, especially business owners. If you want your business to be great, hire an athlete. Because they always understand their job is on the line and they will never get comfortable. Like, we can never get comfortable. I don't care who you are. You can be the highest paid dude in the league. These contracts are not guaranteed. They will get rid of you and get somebody else in 2 seconds. Like,
Well, we're glad to have you, that's for sure. So I'm going to finish this up with a couple of good other easy questions. One, Amazing Race. If you had to pick one teammate to go on the Amazing Race with, who are you taking?
Amazing Race. Who's athletic, who's strong, who's Tyron Verde. Yeah, Tyron Verde. Yeah, that's how you say it.
It's a good pick.
Okay. How many times have you had a beaver tail?
I say 50, but I put that in
50? Wow! Oh my God.
Let me put that in half. I'll say 25 because every time I get one, it's somebody saying, "Hey, let me get a piece." Yeah. I say 25.
Because you said like when you signed it, like I love it here. I went to the Grey Cup here, Beaver Tails. I like the spa.
Yeah.
Are you a massage guy?
Massage, steam room, I love eucalyptus, man. I go in that steam room, put some eucalyptus in there, and I'm in heaven. And then I just go sauna, cold tub, saltwater bath. Then I go in a hammock and go to sleep all day.
Manicure?
Manicure, pedicure, all that stuff.
I've never gone.
Yeah, man, I get it.
To a manicure or pedicure?
Or to a spa.
You gotta go to a spa, dude.
Go to a spa.
You need it.
Yeah, you're missing out.
It's different. It's different.
Okay, I'll go.
I learned from Ocho Cinco, actually, about taking care of your feet, because he always talked about that, I remember, from Hard Knocks, and then until I realized, I'm like, that's actually a really big thing. And those tiny little cleats we wear? Yeah.
Trust me, when you don't have your feet,
take care of the
you're out
feet.
Listen, I had 2 of my big toenails, they turned black.
Yeah.
I couldn't even walk.
Yeah.
Like, I'm done. I'm out of commission.
From a toenail.
Yeah, from a toenail.
You know?
Like, you got to take care of your feet, man.
Yeah.
Okay. Favorite thing to do in Ottawa?
My favorite thing to do in Ottawa, It has to be walking the canal. Yeah.
Did you go there just to get away?
Yeah, man, I put my headphones in and I just walk. Especially in the fall time like this, it's beautiful.
Yeah. Okay. Do you ride one of the scooters? It seems like after games and stuff, there is a gaggle of Redblacks who are on scooters. Like it's a gang. Are you part of that group?
Nah, I got my own car, man. A lot of those dudes, they live over in the dorm, so they go ride.
Those are cool for now until the cold weather hits.
Put winter tires on those things.
Yeah,
Avery Williams, we appreciate your time. Thank you for stopping by.
Thanks for having me.
A lot of fun.
Appreciate
Thank you.
it.